But it doesn't rhyme this way.
Nice and spicy.
What's our objective? Time for retribution! I still have a lot to do with the guild. How about you take a rest while I go back?
What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishin, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea? I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure story. Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry. I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, though the mind is willing, the flesh is weak. Especially recently, I've noticed a rather drastic drop in my energy levels. I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless, I wish to pass on the position before my mental acuity begins to decline beyond redemption.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather unique position among the Liyue Qixing. Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning and giving advice, so a public selection process would not be suitable. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet as possible in their assessment and appointment. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing members.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate myself. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment officer. In fact, I believe you recently became acquainted with her yourself.
Oh? Who is it?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
It's yelan!
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu. Might be a good opportunity for you.
What do you think? Paimon thinks so too. It can't be a bad thing to be on good terms with a new Qixing, right?
Alright then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety too. Don't you think I might make a good Tianshu?
Huh? yelan, you want to be the next Tianshu?
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long you've been working together. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position, I'll recommend you for the job.
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Everything's all set for the assessments to go ahead. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant conversation. Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment, this runs on the house. You're all set?
Uncle Tian seems really worn down. It's like all his energy's gone.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tian is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei. Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs, and Zhi is focused on study and travel. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Gee. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Let's leave that until we get to Yuahai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Oh, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Oh, come on. That's just... Now you're just being unreasonable.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingboa, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's not... Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Fine. They're not the best quality chairs, to be sure. But under the circumstances, it would be better than nothing.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally soon. Before that, let me run you through the assessment process. I've split it into 2 stages: current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, we will ask them some questions in person. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow. One of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto. Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first impression of what each person's proposing. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done.
By the way, do you have any idea who the assessment officer is?
Me neither. They'd better get someone who knows what they're talking about, though. I don't want some amateur trying to decide my fate.
By the way, do you have any idea who the
Me neither. They'd better get someone who knows what they're talking.
Finished, huh?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets. That's for me to know and you to find out. We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Chenwei.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so you two are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing two entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about. With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward. Yeah, although I shouldn't get my hopes up.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days? My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he...
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh,
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach 2 very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present an optimal solution to all the problems as a whole.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results. If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Chenwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto, which effectively target the big issues. But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingguo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, very detail-oriented. But he and Chenwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingguo is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't agree more. You're good at this, yelan.
Last but not least, Jur-E. His manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of fields, which is quite a rare feat. The depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Jur-E take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Great!
We'll see. Let's go back and report to Uncle Tien.
I see. Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
All right. Then let me ask this. The ideas in Jur-E's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting your judgment. But I can tell you now, those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some similarities with me. But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Guo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Juri was with me for the longest duration.
Whoa! So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tien?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Guo came to my attention in the course of my work. And as for Juri, that was pure happenstance. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Juri came from a poor family, and his parents died. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing, and not quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into the young are growing up, and I am growing old.
I don't know, Uncle Tien. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have another few years of work left in you.
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I...
Sounds like you sure...
There's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time.
Fresh fish soup.
Doesn't it? Also, when we've been fishing recently, Juri always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. That flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to taste it again.
Oh, can Paimon come next time too? Paimon...
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tien, we've reported...
I appointed you. Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, this decision must be guided by what is fair, remember.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tien. Look after yourself. So, it's gonna be J.E., right? His manifesto was written well, and...
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit.
Huh? So, are you...
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not always as they appear. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ugh! Who are they?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan as my trusted assistants. They are always standing guard nearby. They also perform. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he can't swim.
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Juri, well, obviously as the most promising. Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people pass.
If we're looking for information, why don't we try to... He does business at the North Wharf.
That's actually...
Huh? What's Bulai doing here today?
Look, you're asking. Come on, hear me out. I accidentally dropped one in. Even so. All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead. And neither of us wants.
Okay, well, when you put it... Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri. Have you...
Juri? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time. But Juri never retaliated. He returned cruelty with kindness. Injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and...
Oh, he sounds like a decent man.
Why are you asking about him anyway? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the...
Where? What?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Lin Long. Come on, let's follow them and try not to let him see you.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine, who likes to have a drink now and then, he fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me, then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Lin Long.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
anyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan?
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet.
Wait. You're not just trying to dig up...
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do, you'll be able to try all the finest food for free.
We will? Well, come on!
Shine down!
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers. Let's see what Uncle Soon has to say.
There is no escape!
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the, Liyue Anglers Association, and we just wanted to ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called Zhi, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to have heard of him?
Whoa! Yelan made up a whole fake identity without batting an eyelid!
Ah, yes, Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make... How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's any...
Yeah, we think so too!
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why's that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you in touch with.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society...
Wow! She switched identity again?
Society for Fish Price Research? I haven't done anything illegal. Stay out of my business.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Zhi who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area.
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted... He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head. He managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day... I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So, I wouldn't be surprised. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he has pretty low self-esteem. But hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most people to and nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him.
I see. Well, thank you for...
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the price of my fish.
The more times you say it, the less convinced.
Doesn't have a lot of mora to his name.
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah, honor. What brings you to...
The truth is, we are but newcomers.
Really?
But of course, we also heard that Master Dooku is a
Great! So what do you wish to know?
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dooku, have you heard...
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days? I've heard many tales of jury. For example, probably because it's nothing that important. I prefer stories...
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember roughly when the grown-ups started talking about Jur-E?
Oh yeah, I know that. It was before that. People always used to talk about Jur-E in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him. Sometimes he gives me candies, so I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you...
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dooku is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great. Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about jury stories in the street.
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candies with them too.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to...
Thank you, ma'am!
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dooku.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? Well, Jur-E seems to have a great reputation. Uncle...
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity...
Sudden? Too good to be true? What do you...
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well-known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about him wherever... Do you remember what Doogu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in the details. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening within the last 2 or 3... His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So
When you put it like that...
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned, he's... Right. And that changes everything. It can mean a powerful faction. That's the worst-case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic speculation turns out to be...
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds... Even if we asked Jur-E about it, surely there's no way he'd admit it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate, whoever is secretly helping Jur-E, must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. Come on, let's get back to Yenshang Tea. Illusion shattered! Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take the other. Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tien might think of Jur-E, the fact remains that he's one of... Any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious. We'll have to look carefully and think critically.
Even though Yelan took... Well, we got... Oh, this reading is giving time...
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers! Shut... If you're back, that means...
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Don't drag this out. Just tell us...
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a general... The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the businesses under his name?
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you...
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business...
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back! Huh?
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills.
You... whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, I would have been Lady Yelan. I have finished it.
Well, we're up.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbois struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive. He always considers the things that everyone...
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs appraisal...
I don't believe so. Mingbois is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation he has today. According to Miss Yu, the ministry often gets Mingbois to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of approval. Oh, and also, there was once someone in the ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbois gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses his temper.
Whoa. That...
Like I said before, things are not always...
Ah! So that's what you meant by...
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished reading the map?
We still have a...
I can't see any immediate problem. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Cheongshu Pool. Cheongshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep under. At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great... A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team conducted an exploratory excavation there.
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been by blowing it open with a special kind of explosive. The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down and the treasure became a mere legend. Zhi-Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt seems extremely risky. It seems out of step with the rest of his plans. Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure.
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything similar in our half of the manifesto? Oh, yeah! Juri said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal if any suitable project...
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer. So Zhi-Yi wants the Blackcliff Forge to excavate the treasure of Cheongshu Pool.
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Juri's secret supporter?
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They aren't involved with any... They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put so many resources into a risky project like... Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge, we should see where they lead. We may well find something new.
Shenwei and Mingbo both... What about Juri? Is there another side to him too?
This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
Excuse me? What's that?
Just, stuff that when it...
I don't think we're going to get anywhere asking...
What's...
From the back, it looks like a ledger. But we don't know who wrote it.
You think there's this...
Yes. Look, at this rate, by the time the Qing... That'll give them the chance to... Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. No red flags if all they did was change some key staff. That's the advantage of planning.
When you put it like that, So, who's really...
That's a question for the newcomers.
Excuse...
I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking. I guess they just need some time to adjust.
They go out drinking. This area isn't...
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liyue Harbor to drink at Wan. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Let's go talk. Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? It's a good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give them...
They went that way! Hurry, we gotta catch up! These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here, but, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working. Look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we arrived.
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire.
The odds of that are very slim.
Why don't we wait for them back?
We can't count on that. To me, that's...
Darn!
Make no mistake. I smelled something peculiar. Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions could...
Really? Paimon can't smell anything.
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate, where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their writing. When that fragrant ink is burned, this is the exact odor that it leaves behind. Exactly. The evidence will soon be but it's all I need. Now I...
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. I sent him to look into Jur-E's regular contacts. Since Jur-E likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and sailors, so he took a boat out to sea to ask. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Blackcliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us there... So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Jur-E before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard. Fortunately, someone managed to drag me out. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Blackcliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't he?
Well, Uncle Tien said that Jur-E once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen.
What? No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you, I spoke to every single fisherman.
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish soup came.
Fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way. Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Jur-E, but the guy's too cautious.
Okay, so take
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first...
groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand. Tomorrow morning I'll announce his victory. Be sure to arrive on time. It looks like we're all here. Well, I won't drone on.
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush. Just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail, and he easily gets into testy exchanges with other people. Mingbo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough. And because of his personality, in contrast, Zhi is evenly balanced across the board and enjoys an excellent reputation in Liyue after much consideration. I have decided to recommend Zhi to the Liyue Qixing.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being announced. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future and taking on some of my workload?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want.
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official appointment. I hope you will work hard and make up.
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my word. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in order.
Count me out. I'm not in the mood for a celebrate.
Zhi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow.
Hey, traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't? If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this result.
I, also wouldn't mind knowing.
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to leave.
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally...
Lady Yelan, Zhi has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Follow him, quickly.
So Zhi really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tian thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
I'm sorry, Lady Yelan. We lost him. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep...
How the heck did he manage to shake Yelan's? I guess Zhi didn't let us go...
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired. Perceptive enough to sense...
But...
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tian himself. Evading detection... If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tian, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So...
Xinyue kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough to check without blowing our cover. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to arrest him there and then, but without any... So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around in Xinyue.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, we'll find a way to catch him eventually. The key... Let's go to Xinyue Kia.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about...
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What ground...
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it was just a little bit strange?
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What did he buy while he was here?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not something the average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick it up.
Liquor and wine with
Where to?
Shigu Antiques. Hey, Miss Lin Long. Sorry to bother you. Zhi ordered. We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality.
Sure. Which model are you?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Zhi.
Zhi picked up his set not long ago. As a quality imitation of an antique wineware set, it has the look and feel of a luxury. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Zhi has taken one,
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a little hazy on...
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass, maximum is 4. Mr. Zhi, but 2.
Okay. Thanks, Lin Long. Seems there's a little more to buying wineware than I first thought.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out any day now. All right, see you next time.
This is turning into a...
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Field.
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's your excuse?
Yelan, so if we can't figure out what...
If so, it's no...
What do you mean?
First of all, Zhi isn't much of a drinker. On some level, he hates alcohol because of what it did to his father. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol. Let alone now. This is a victory feast. Held in honor of Zhi's private sponsor. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor. Now, where might we find Fatui who match that to...
Fatui officials. Should be either...
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people...
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make...
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance, in which case...
Great idea! So we just need to find out who Zhi bought that liquor for and follow them instead.
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major diplomatic incident.
I'm well aware, but don't you see? Zhi is gambling every... Stick to your orders.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Zhi may...
I'll be waiting for you at the tea. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui of... Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupa...
Chingshu Pool?
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Sensible choice. I'll give them. Chingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of...
Oh no, we got...
Let's go. If my hunch is correct... This is Chingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me.
Take them. I have no need.
And the crowd goes, what?
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay? Can you hear Paimon?
Shine down!
Bam! Can't catch me. Let's roll!
The hunter becomes.
There's been some work done on... The workers left an emergent... Still, be ready to...
Don't worry, we're all professional. By the way, Yelan, where are you?
They have other things to take care of.
Kamisato Ayaka, present.
Busted. Gotcha.
Illusion shattered!
Attaboy!
As I expected. But this shouldn't be too much trouble.
gotta be the Fatui ambassador here to meet Jui. Looks like he went through that door. That must be the emergency access.
Hold the line! Take flight!
Let's roll! Oh, coming through! Huh! Ha! Go! Hey, that wasn't... Bam! Ha! 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 Let's roll!
Whirling snow!
Take it easy.
The water's gone down.
escape.
Bam!
Can't catch me.
Take flight.
Quietly now. Things are about to get dicey. Busted. Take it easy. The water's flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
The door is open. Let's go.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up. Gotcha.
Attaboy!
Hold the line.
Coming from Dart. Surrender! Inazuma shines eternal!
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed. Come on, bottoms up. After you, of course.
Oh, sorry, that went down the wrong way. I've never drunk anything this.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
I'll do my best.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already, I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round. Less talking, more drinking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend, but I have to say, you really are quite a genius at poisoning people. I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison and came up with the idea of delivering it through fish soup. What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result.
It struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I...
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tianshu. Of course, this is as long as you continue. Aside from Qingshu Pool, we also have some other requests for you, which we will inform...
Don't worry. Whatever
Did you hear that? It was poison! That's why Uncle Tian hasn't been feeling well recently. What a nasty guy! Seize him!
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture...
Excellent, Lick. We've, seen no progress on the diplomatic front, but soon, everything will be... I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey, do you...
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious candidate for the Tianshu. No matter how hard I work, the only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment. I think...
Yes. Under normal circumstances, the gap... Just look at your two competitors. Chen Wei had wealth. Ming Boa had reputation. And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your...
Yes. I cannot thank you enough for your generous support.
You know, the best thing about you is that you... heck, when you're not...
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish. Do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. How well this goes for us.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good mood to...
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you some more next time.
Whoa, this is the good stuff. What the... Jur-E, you...
You seem surprised, Mr. Yusupov. How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your...
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are.
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives. I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. Two missing. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu. But things didn't quite go to plan. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately. I guess then.
Jerry, do you really think you're gonna get away with after I die?
A record? Oh, you must mean the... Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, he has been eyeing your position for a long...
That traitor!
Shh, 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 shh. Relax. It's over. After tonight, everyone gets what they want. And anyone else in the know is either my accomplice or about to be taken out of the picture. Sweet dreams, Mr. Yusupov.
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. The game's up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything. They came out pretty nicely.
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite sure. I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them down from within. If it pleases you, Miss Yelan, I'd be only—
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as in Uncle Tien. Nothing else you wanted to add?
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that much I can still guarantee.
Your point being?
When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, all of you here tonight can expect very generous treatment. I don't deny that I used underhanded methods.
You still don't get it, do you? Even— What do you think? Exactly. Jur-E. Clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other people to believe you, you'll never be. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but he was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tien was always going out of everyone in the world. He is—
That's enough!
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan, but you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jur-E these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Yanshang Tea House tomorrow morning. I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then, there's someone I have to go and see.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one to the professionals. Don't worry, as long as they're willing to cooperate, this'll be a straightforward deal. Get some rest. See you tomorrow.
There is now no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baishu, is my father going to be...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and It's good we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that...
How did they successfully secure such a seldom-seen poison? It seems the Fatui are extremely resourceful. Unfortunately for them, they were up against us.
Uncle Tian will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much. Ah, you're here too? Thank you for all you've done to Yes, the exhaustion.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing...
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so the assessment process comes to an end.
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalty.
Is it just Paimon, or is Uncle Tian not that surprised?
Don't underestimate Uncle Tian. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't had his doubts about Jur-E. Normally, the Yuehai Pavilion would be responsible for assessing the candidates. Isn't that right, Uncle Tian?
Yes, to be quite honest. When I first met Yuri, I concluded that, in the end, I never had any plans to recommend him directly. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of...
I have to admit, he's a smart guy, and very cautious. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, He chose that specific. He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought to hold the poison. As the amount of liquor went down, he'd shake the pot to release the poison from the compartment into the liquor. Afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him. Had the Fatui official grown suspicious, Jur-E would have drunk the poisoned wine himself, and then found an opportunity to take the antidote shortly afterwards.
But that's still really dangerous.
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate to put himself in harm's way to achieve.
How is...
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yenfei says, everyone who breaks the law, still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything the Fatui...
A deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him when you arrested him?
Yes, Jur-E's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case off to my subordinates as soon as I realized. But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting. I thought I might have the chance to catch a big fish.
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, it slipped off the hook.
Uncle Tian? Yelan? What are you talking about? Paimon doesn't...
Jur-E colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, to put it the other way around, the Fatui made an attempt to interfere in the Tianshu selection process. With Yusupov in our hands and a statement from Jur-E, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second-in-command. Then we'd have a pawn in the ranks of the Fatui. Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think I was investing so much time and effort into this case?
So, okay, well...
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady Ningguang. But when we tried to make contact with Theophan, he was gone.
The Fatui must be spying on us. Otherwise, they'd never been able to respond.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger, Regrator, got involved. The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. Regrator was only treating this as it's a pity that Theophan got away. But knowing which Harbingers are still looking at...
I have to ask, Yelan. Do you have... I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at...
Oh, that. I was obvious. I prefer my current life. There's danger, and although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role, as... All right, I'm done here.
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed, it's for me to know and you to find out. But I'm sure if you keep going as you... Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people... If you have any more questions...